Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Monday Matt channel, and I'm not a religious person, right? I'm not. I think I've made that abundantly clear at this point. However, I find it funny when social justice warriors attempt to attack religion because I feel like that is barking up a tree that they will ultimately lose out on, and that's a fight they don't want to have. But they're doing it. They're doing it at George Washington University, where the university event that they're going to have aims to combat Christian privilege. Christian privilege. Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen, I think at this point in current year in 2018, I want to know. I have to know, where the fuck is Christian privilege? I mean, like, if you're talking like cronyism and nepotism, yeah, that shit's gone on for freaking ages. But like in current age, I want to know, where do Christians ultimately have like the privilege? Is it just because they're the largest religious demographic in the United States? That's the argument here? I don't know. Let's find out, shall we? Now, just 4 days after Easter, George Washington University will host a training session for students and faculty that teaches that Christians, especially white ones, received unmerited perks from institutions and systems all across our country. Okay. Like, look, if this was like, let's say, like 1825 or something, right? Or not even, let's go back further. Let's go like 1600s, 1600s, early 1700s. I could see that. All right. Like, Salem witch trial type stuff. I can totally see that. Like, the Spanish Inquisition. I could see that. I could see that way back in the day. There's prime examples of there being a Christian privilege, or like the right kind of religious privilege in certain areas of our society and just in society in general, dating back through the ages. But now, can you really argue that now? Oh, but they're gonna try. April 5th is a diversity workshop titled Christian Privilege, but our founding fathers were all Christian, right? I actually have no idea. Anyway, hosted by university's Multicultural Student Services Center, the event will teach that Christians enjoyed a privileged, easier life than their non-Christian counterparts, and that Christians possess built-in advantages today, according to its online description. There's that thing. It's today. They're going to go back and they're going to be like, have you ever heard of the Salem witch trial? Have you ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of all the times Christians did bad things? Today, it's still the same. And it's like, no, it's not this. And it's not, it's not. I want to repeat that like ad nauseum. It's not the same. It's in being religious is being tribal. Being a social justice warrior is being tribal. So 30, 40 years down the road, are they going to do, are they going to do a thing where, well, what about that social justice warrior privilege? Because that could happen. So the workshop will also discuss how Christians receive unmerited perks from institutions and systems all over our country. Oh, that ought to be fun. The Christian Privilege Workshop is one of 15, oh great, free training opportunities offered through the center to equip students and staff with the necessary skills to promote diversity and inclusion in the different environments. Okay. So again, there's that diversity and inclusion line. We see this all the time now. We know that it's generally a load of shit. It's not about diversity and inclusion. It's not about equality. It's about equity. And those words are just buzzwords that ultimately mean nothing. It's a different type of cronyism and nepotism to an extent. Diverse opinions are not allowed. We know this from all the years I've covered this stuff, and the fact that it still goes on. We know what the outcome of this is going to be. Now, other workshops offered through the center focus on heterosexual privilege, cisgendered privilege, abled-bodied privilege, socio-economic privilege, unconscious bias, and more. Well, that sounds like something I have no desire to go to. Heterosexual privilege. Look, don't get me wrong. There are elements of our society that do need work, especially when it comes to tolerance. But when you attack everything that's not you by labeling it as privilege. It's never coming from it from an angle of trying to maybe bridge a divide and work together and have a conversation. It's about equipping students and staff with the necessary skills to promote these things, and in the different environments, i.e. shut down those you disagree with. That's what it boils down to. The conversation aspect of our society is dead. Efforts by the college fixed to reach a campus spokesperson, the Multicultural Center, and the host of the Christian Privilege Workshop were to no avail. The Christian Privilege event aims to make people aware of the privileges that Christians have and what is meant by privilege overall, and white privilege specifically, the event description states. Furthermore, the event will try to educate those of the role of denial when it comes to white privilege and the difference between equality and equity. You see, equality is what everybody wants. Equity is what they preach for, right? It's all about the I'm owed something because of this reason, instead of, having access to the same tools and education and abilities, and then being able to choose my own path in life. That kind of equality. They don't want that kind of equality. That's the bad kind of equality. They want equity, right? They just want the equity. That's what they're after here. But they want to sit there and teach about the role of denial when it comes to white privilege. Oh, God, really? Like, again, when you approach these sort of things from like a negative perspective and you are talking down to the people that you are trying to reach, ultimately it's not going to work in your favor. Trust me, this is something I'm aware of. And all it's going to do is just really kind of further the divide in the situation. It's not a good idea to do this. They should know better, but they don't, because at this point, playing the victim card is what's going to get them the equity that they want, usually through bully tactics and silencing of others. You can sit there and go, well, what about your fascist privilege? Huh? How about that? What about your fascist privilege? Because that's kind of what it feels like. When you read when you see these things unfold, it boils down to a form of proto-fascism. And no one wins when that happens. Plus, they usually always kind of cannibalize each other, which is always fun to watch too. By the end of the training, the organizers want participants to be able to name at least 3 examples of Christian privilege. Now, is this going to be current events in Christian privilege, or are we going to be going back to like something like Salem witch trial, Spanish Inquisition, and I don't know, whatever the fuck happened with the Pope, right? Like, is that Oh, wow. Okay. And at least 3 ways to be an ally to a non-Christian person. That's very simple. Treat them like a person. That's it, right? But it's going to be like, don't judge. Okay, if they have a different lifestyle, don't judge. Don't judge them. That's like the number 1. Like, that's pretty much it. But they're going to sit there and take don't judge and turn it into 3. They're all going to be the same thing. They should just be the one thing, but they're going to be the same thing. It should just be the one. The organizers also want participants to describe words like privilege, Christian, privilege, denial, quality, equity, Christianity bias, unconscious bias, microaggression, and ally. The workshop will last 90 minutes and will feature a PowerPoint presentation and Q&A. Yeah, okay, so PowerPoint presentation and a Q&A. All about social justice warriors trying to attack religion. Listen, I'm no fan of religion. I've made this abundantly clear over the years. I don't like organized religion. I don't like a lot of organized things in general. But that being said, this is one of those hills you will die on, and you don't want to. This is one of those trees you do not want to bark up, because pissing off, trying to going after the religious. Just saying. History has never really been kind when people have attempted to go after the religious. Especially when there's some people in this country, they kind of conflate, their Second Amendment right as being a God-given right. So I'm just saying, you're kind of barking up the wrong tree on that one. But that being said, I wish them the best of luck to try. It's not going to work, and ultimately this is not how you get the type of equality you want. trying to bully people and claim they have privilege and use that as an attack on them is never the right way to foster a conversation. And all you do is create more, resentment and anger and division among the people that disagree, and further push the divide. So if you want equality, and you most definitely want equity, all you're doing is delaying yourself getting it because you want to pander to a certain crowd that, quite frankly, are really freaking annoying and will always be shouted down by, sane, rational individuals. But that being said, I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on this one. Be sure to let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe and click that bell. And peace out. What you just saw was a shorter clip from a longer show. The Rustled Podcast airs every Sunday through Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard on rustled.net. Please consider subscribing to the channel as well as 3 Buck Theater and potentially becoming one of our sponsors at patreon.com/mundanemat. Thank you and have a great day.